Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's installment of The Bar. This is your girl, Lundy. And tonight is one of the biggest interviews that, during my time doing this. We got King of the Dots Organik calling in. This is an honor. This is big. So Formula 51 tonight presents King of the Dots Organik. So meanwhile, just thank you to everyone that supported me, supported what we got going on over here at The Bar. Today was a beautiful day in New York, you know what I'm saying? It's just, for me, it's just about, making the best of every day. So I got my co-host, Kev Battle, calling in tonight. So, Formula 51, we on deck time and we on deck. There's a few things I want to speak about in regards to just a couple of battles that have dropped. Okay, let me bring my co-host on first, y'all. Here go Kev Battle.
Formula 51, Formula 51, Formula 51. We in the building.
What's going on, King? Well, everything good over here. Tonight's a big night. Once again, we had our string of exclusives last week, and this just is another one. But this is big. We built about it a few minutes ago, just in regards to the dynamic. So I'm amped to wait for an Organik call in. Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? You my family already, so we just going, Formula 51. This is what this is about. But I want to speak real quick in regards to just shout out to over there. They dropped a girl over here. They dropped the JC versus Bourne battle. You know what I'm saying? And I watched it, but I stopped watching it. It wasn't because of the battle or anything. It's because I was just real busy. But, in regards to just, Newborn, I like Newborn. You know what I'm saying? I think that, he's being expressive on his timeline, with his feelings about, how he's just being perceived. And he has the right to do that. People on the timeline call him saying he wanted it. Big Cannon was saying it, but Big Cannon is a sweetheart. So, I didn't sense any malice from him doing that. But, these Twitter niggas and followers, saying that he ran in and people, what is he complaining about now? At the end of the day, he has the right to be expressive about how he feels about, his craft. You know what I'm saying? I suggest that. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about just Newborn as a battler? He's supposed to be on my show. He owed me like 2,000 interviews. Shout out to Newborn. He owed me like 2,000 interviews. But how do you feel about him just as a battler and then, just as far as, his outings and et cetera?
To me personally, I don't have nothing against him. I mean, I really like I think he's unorthodox. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His style is like nobody else's, you know what I'm saying? His delivery is crazy. It's a lot to Bourne. So, I mean, it's give or take. It's what you like. You know what I mean? In this case, you know what I mean, it's preference. So if you prefer Bourne, then, yeah. I mean, it's nothing to not like about dude. You know what I mean? If he's given a chance, then, and you hear some of the shit he's saying, then you rock with Bourne. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's. I think there's a blog on YouTube that's it's about 18 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken, and it's titled "Why Aren't We Watching the Rookie?" or just different battlers. Like everybody's so caught up in what Hitman is doing and the league he's trying to start and who he's funking with, and you know what I mean? It's so fucking media. We just gotta stop that shit. Like it was about the bars. So like I think if people really take it back to the essence of battle rap and pay attention to it like they supposed to, you're rock with Bourne. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean he beat JC. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way his perception is like, you know what I mean? You could call it unfair, but at the same time, opinions is like assholes. Everybody got one. So, I mean, it's what you prefer. Do it make you sick on your timeline? If it do, then don't follow the shit. Get off of it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers
Exactly.
just want to have something to say about something, and it's not about the battle with him and JC. Like, we doing battle rap media. Why the fuck are we talking about Twitter so much? We know everybody got a Twitter handle. I got one. Shout out to Twitter, at 1000YM Oakland while we talking. But, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I fuck with Bourne, man. It's nothing not to like about Bourne. So if you fuck with bars, you'll fuck with that fact. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean he win every battle. It just mean that the shade that he gets sometimes is unnecessary. But shit, a lot of people get it. So, I mean.
Right. No, I respect and agree with what you're saying. It's about having an open mind, but a lot of people, just in regards to just the dynamic of how battle rap has changed. You got a lot of new fans, and I'm not blaming the new fans. Well, I kind of am. Fuck that. just in regards to just, the essence of battle rap, a lot of people they not knowledgeable about it, and they don't choose to go back and watch. I mean, you can't be, in my opinion, you can't be, a fave of such and such, but then don't know about such and such, because without such and such, the door wouldn't be open for this nigga you prefer. You understand what I'm saying? And just with the word preference, I hate that word in regards to the realm of battle rap. I hate that word because people are pushing, and I say this shit all the time, people are pushing their preference down your throat. You know what I'm saying? And not being, in my opinion, fair about it. Like, or if you have an opinion, you're not trying to get to the reason why this person has this opinion. You telling me, oh, fuck that, he won and that's that. And it has gotten away from the bar so long ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and just in regards to our guest tonight, a lot of people don't know that I know about on the timeline just by looking at and listening. I mean, not listening, looking at what people tweet. Organik is a battler too, a good one. You know what I'm saying? So, just with newborn situation, he got to find his balance. No, him being expressive, I have no problem with that because I'm expressive. But, people are going to be how they are. You know what I'm saying? He just has to, just keep pushing in it. Don't get discouraged or put off by what people are saying. People are going to keep talking. You understand what I'm saying? But, shout out to him and JC. JC is JC. You know what I mean? But we're still waiting for Organik to go. We got some callers on the line. I'm going to bring on the 646. And let's see who this is. They've been on hold for a minute. 646, you live on air with the bar. Who this? Hello, you live on air. Okay.
Next one.
Right. This is my PR. He's part of, I'm bringing him on. 347, you on live with the bar. Who's this?
Hello.
Well, I know who it is. What's going on, family?
Maintaining. Shout out to the bar dog. I'm looking forward to the guests. Excuse me. I'm looking forward to the guests arriving and just hearing this show. And this is.
Kev, you still there?
I'm a listener too. At the same time, I don't talk before I listen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. No, because
it was with all due respect.
Right.
What up, Kev? How's everything?
Oh, bro, I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, this 646 call. This 646. I'm gonna bring them back on. Hold on.
Okay.
646. You live on there with the bar. Who's this? They hung up. Okay, 647. Okay, this might be our guest. Hold on one second. Good evening, 646. You live on there with the bar. Who's speaking?
Yeah. What up?
What's going on, King? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Everybody, this is the guest of the night. This is Organik.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on.
No, it's an honor, King. This is big. It's big for me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Okay, wait, no, I'm just
started.
Go ahead.
Before we get started, you know what I mean? I gotta do I'm a fan first before I do media, so I want to tell Organik it's a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor. You know what I mean? I'm off this KOTV shit as well as Smack, but I never thought that I'd be in a situation and be able to speak to you or even interview you. So I just want you to know it's a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? We rock with you, and you know what I mean? We're looking forward to a great interview. So thanks for coming on.
I greatly appreciate that, man, and congratulations on getting the show up and going and everything, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. See, I'm based out of New York, and Kev is based out of Oakland. So it's a family, East Coast, West Coast, but just camaraderie as far as just battle rap. That's what brought us together. So this is Formula 51 is interviewing you tonight, so it's definitely an honor to have you on.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, man, the Oakland boy got to be happy, man. Raiders put in work today.
Man, you know.
Got O'Malley, got Irvin. We're probably going to get Martin.
They still going to hate me. They still ain't going to like me. I got to put it together and win first. But I'm juiced.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm juiced about that.
I'm a Raider fan, man. You know what I mean? So that's my team.
That's what's up, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's awesome.
So, yeah, so what's up, guys?
Okay, so I have some core questions that I asked. It's two questions that I asked. This is your first time on my show. So
yep.
I'm going to just ask you, when did you fall in love with hip-hop?
To be honest with you, like, as long as I can remember, I was probably that kid in, like, the third grade, you know what I mean, listening to, like, I know y'all aren't Canadian, but, like, Snow Up Here was, like, one of the first generation rappers, and I was, like, in the third grade listening to Snow. You guys know the song, like, Informer and all that. That's, like, you know, back in the days of, like, Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, like, I can actually say, like, I was a real early hip-hop head. One of the kids that, you know, my mom would have to buy albums for me because stores wouldn't sell them to me because of the language and shit, and I was just too young. I've always been into hip hop. I got my fourth grade class photo. I'm wearing a Method Man shirt. You know what I mean? I just fell in love with it as a young kid.
That's good. To piggyback off what Lundy said, I mean, since we was talking about falling in love, how did the battle rap aspect happen? Like, as far as
battle rap was something like, you know, I always just, like I said, when I was a kid, man, this was back in the day before CD players were really in existence. I'd always be listening to tapes, and you would have your double cassettes, you know what I mean, on a boombox and everything, and one would be a blank tape, and I'd be trying to loop a beat at the end of it, you know, so I could freestyle and add my own little verse as, like, a young child. So freestyling and, like, adding my own verses to beats was, like, kind of just how I started rapping. And then when it just basically became like, you know, the new era of the social media age, the internet, Yahoo chat rooms and everything, I used to go on there and just battle. And then it was like, yo, I should do this in person. And I went out and, you know, won my first couple competitions, and I just fell in love with it, the scene. Just everything everyone was doing in California back in, like, the mid-2000s, the Scribble Jam era, you know what I mean? Everything from the Blaze battle to, you know, Mind Games. Like, there's a lot of battle history that kind of gets overlooked these days because there's new format of battling. And, like, you know, a lot of people are not in full understanding of, like, how big of a role the Scribble Jam era played in today's era of battle rap, you know what I mean? Because this era that we're in now really kind of formed out of the Scribble Jam era. It was like that collective group of people that pushed this new agenda of the a cappella battles that made it popular, you know what I mean? And I feel like the old format of the freestyling on beats gets overlooked because this has just gained so much popularity. But back in the day, that's what everyone was doing.
Right, I agree. Like, I've been a battle rap fan. I'm an old head. I'm an old woman. But you know, for me, back in I think it was '98, like the LO crew, and just you know, as far as you know, battle league, you know, the term battle league. But we know you're from Canada, and was hip hop a big influence there? Well, I know it is now, but I mean, growing up, as far as just, you know, the region.
Yeah, it was. Toronto was one of those cities that was forever. We call it forever growing. You know, we started off with a small population, and we gained a large population by allowing immigrant status. So a lot of people came and brought that culture into Toronto pretty quick. You know what I mean? And it was something that kind of gave us an outlet to kind of just be ourselves. Toronto's always been one of those cities that, like, I don't say it is anymore, but 10 years ago, people didn't even know what happened up here. You know what I mean? They didn't know if it was snowing all the time. So, like, we used hip-hop as a kind of a way to, like, push ourselves as a city. You know what I mean? Like, if people weren't going to pay attention to us in general, we were just going to force it on them by using this music outlet. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, like, where the whole unity within Toronto came from. Is like, we were all playing for the same team trying to break someone. You know what I mean? And Drake ended up being that person. So, because before then, there was nobody that anybody would give any respect or credit to Toronto. People would be like, oh, you from Toronto? Suck their teeth. But it's like, yo, that city's 4 million people. You overlooking it, man. It's soon to become a huge thing, you know? So, here we are.
Right.
Good, man. That's grinding. That's work. For all you listeners out there, the essence of battle rap, bring it back. Take it back to the old school, do homework, do some history for the new fans. It's a lot of old heads, but it's a lot of new fans that are fans just because it was passed on to them, or, you know, they together, oh, this is a fire battle, or this is something to watch, or this is the wave everybody is on for now. So if you really fuck with battle rap, do your homework, man. For real.
Right. Totally agree. I totally agree. This is a question. It's unorthodox, but I ask it. 5 albums that would be the soundtrack to your life. Just
oh my
influence.
God. I'm gonna regret every answer I have on this because I'm gonna have 4 more better answers once this is done. One, Cormega the Realness. I feel like that kind of shape-shifted my whole teenage year mentality. You know what I'm saying? Especially just kind of the lifestyle I was living back then.
Right.
I gotta always drop a Wu-Tang Forever just because that's like the most notorious album of my era. You know what I mean? Oh my, 5 albums in total and complete. There's one I'm thinking of, and for some reason it's not coming to my head, and I just know that if I don't say it, I'm going to be bothered later. Tough to say, I was big into like Queensbridge music, and like the old East Coast, the Capone Noriega, the you know what I'm saying, like the DITs, like just the whole East Coast era. But I was a big fan of a lot of West Coast cats too that a lot of people don't even know. Chico and Cool Water, I was a big fan of. It's tough to say. 5 albums, I don't know. I'll just Cormega the Realness, Wu-Tang Forever. I'll have to say, probably like Nas, It Was Written was up there for me. Or, what, I'll actually say I Am, because I think I Am kind of just was more nostalgic in the sense of me. I don't know. I really don't. Also the Game Jesus piece is held down one of my favorite albums for the last couple of years, too. And I can't really, I don't know. And also in Drake's Take Care. Why not? I think that kind of, changed my outlook on, I used to be such an underground hip-hop head before and everything and never really kind of appreciated music for the music itself. I always appreciated it for the content because, as a writer, that's kind of what I always paid attention to. And I feel like Drake's Take Care album kind of opened the envelope for me as far as appreciating other aspects of the music.
Right, and it's awesome that you mentioned just Queens, period, because I'm from Queens, and my brother's from Queensbridge, the infamous Mog, my brother's down with them, so it's cool.
Infamous Mob, that album alone too is like, you know what I mean? Gambino, all of them,
So Ty Nitty, that's my brother.
Oh, really?
That's my older brother.
Hell yeah.
That's my older brother.
That's the music I grew up listening to. Twin Gambino, I was chilling with him at like Big Twin and Alchemist in L.A. a couple of years ago and everything. And, I was a big fan of all that when I was a kid. Queensbridge is definitely kind of like shape-shifting the mentality that like me and my group of friends kind of grew up with in your younger teenage years. You know what I mean? Every guy you have that like, you grew up thinking a certain way and being a certain way, and just Queensbridge music was like the soundtrack to my life back then.
Wow, and that's awesome, and it's just cool, what I'm saying, to interact and build with people, that actually have all types of influence from other places, that kind of just make up what it is that it is with them in their craft today. So that's awesome. But
for sure.
Okay. Over here on the bar, we do our research, on top of being knowledgeable. But, a lot of fans, I know you started off, as a battler on top of doing music. So your very first battle, I mean, I know what it is. We know what it is. But how was that for you in regards to just, just the whole, the effervescence, the feeling? How was that, your very first battle?
I had done battles with my friends and at school and everything like that, and on the, just like kind of like doing it online. But like my first actual real battle, I was nervous as hell. I was confused. I didn't know what to expect. I was worried if people were just going to accept me for who I am rather than the content. And I don't think it was until I was on stage that all of a sudden it just like clicked in, like I'm here for a reason type thing. You get so worried about the thought of where you are rather than the actual of what's actually happening. You know what I mean? The whole week leading up to it, I was like fathoming like what it was going to be like, the reaction you'd get, who's going to be there, the type, like, and your emotions and everything, and you dwell on these things, and then all of a sudden you're up there, and it's like you can either I find it like there's 2 types of people. You either accept it and use it to the best of your ability, or you let it get to you. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy to go up in front of 1,000 people for anybody. I don't care how many times you've done it, even for me to this day, to grab a mic and a completely sober in a crowd full of 1,000 people. It's not easy, right? But I think that's it, just my emotions. But once you get that first reaction, you just start feeling like you're invincible.
Right.
That'll do it for you.
Yeah, definitely will. Kev?
Yeah, I got a question. How does it feel to be a league that, like, you hold your own against Smack? You know what I mean? Like, I would say they treat that like it's the gorilla of the battle rap. You know what I mean? The bully. So how does it feel to have a reputation for doing good business and having, great battles with great, you know what I mean? The graphics and just everything. How does it feel to, like, it's no shade thrown at KOTD, should I say? And like,
I mean, it feels good, man, but I also feel like that's what's expected. If I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be doing my job. So I mean, it's good to get a pat on the back for your work, but at the same time, I always said it, we can brag about what we've done, but it ain't gonna amount to what we're gonna do. So everything we've done now is just leading to what we're soon to be doing in the future.
Right, because I feel that I say this all the time that it's plenty of space and opportunity and enough lanes for everybody to do what it is that they do. But the term league, I've heard the term league, but I also heard the term associated with King of the Dot as promotional company. Can you elaborate on that? Because you're that global when it comes to just everything, merchandise, battles, music, all of that. And, and cross-promotion I also see, so that's awesome. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, it's just about pushing a brand, really, and helping others push a brand. That's what we're here for. We're essentially just a platform, and you know what I mean? In order to get this platform to grow and able to help everybody, it takes a lot of work and just a lot of different, lanes to make these things. The merchandise and everything is... that's all credit to my partner, Avi. He works hard and everything like that. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's just about really just being the best that you can be for everyone and helping everyone be the best they can be as well. That's our job, right? So, I don't know, yeah.
It's awesome. It's something to be smiled upon, as a consumer, as a consumer and an insider, you have your taste or your choices in regards to product. But if there's plenty of product, I'm always going to go with the best product. You know what I'm saying? So where you never hear any like Kev just said, shade when it comes to just your events. Everyone that says they go to King of the Dot, they say they have a wonderful time. Y'all embrace. Show everybody a good time, and y'all have fun on top of, putting out quality battles. So, that's something that, I say that people should take notes on, instead of taking other ways to comment on it, to take notes. So that's something to be honest.
Yeah, I think we've always kind of focused a lot on, like, the vibe of the event more than just caring about the battles. It is a show, you know what I mean? And we want to make it feel like a show. People are paying money to get in there. We want to make sure that they leave satisfied and having a good time, not feeling like it was a chore. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all, saying all this stuff.
No, I mean,
we pay attention. We pay attention. We just speaking on what we see. You know what I mean? This is the feedback that you see on the timeline, but you maybe don't hear in your ear from real fans and people that do media besides that. You know what I mean? So this is all just, you know what I mean? This, like you said, if you're doing your job, then we're happy as consumers, fans and media. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, everything that's said is real. It's just on point. That's all.
Yeah,
man, I appreciate it. I mean, as someone in, it's tough, I'm sure every person of interest does this. We all tend to focus on the negative more than the positive, and you can get 10 people sending you love, and then you get that one person that sends a hate message. And in the back of your mind, when you walk away from your computer, it's hard to not focus on that one hateful message, right? So it's always, appreciated when people reach out and show love. And that's kind of what we want to push, man. I don't really understand, the hostility in this stuff. Battle rap seems to be the only facet where, fans kind of like to discourage the companies and the contenders and everything like that, rather than kind of, rally behind them and everything. And people don't know how to debate without bashing. and
right.
I guess it's the art that we're in, and people feel like more inclined to be able to be rude and disrespectful because battlers are rude and disrespectful. But it's like, that's just not the best way to go about things. That's a performance. It's not the way you talk to these people when you just interact with them,
Right, exactly. Yeah, people have just for society, just a little bit to touch on that. People program themselves that way. It's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of energy to and thought and stuff to be negative. You know what I'm saying? But people have programmed themselves to be that way. So yeah, I obviously are doing something right in regards to that. So, like I said, over here we're just gonna speak what it is, and just being knowledgeable and just being fans of the essence of it is what brings the genuineness out of what it is that we say. But I have you battled one of my fave kids, Swiss. I love him. In the 2-on-2
he's
first,
one of my favorite people.
Yes, in the 2-on-2 first, and then solo afterwards. So how was that? And what's going on with him? Like, I love Kid Swiss. Love him.
Yeah, Kid Swiss got a lot going on in his life. He's going to be having some major announcements coming soon that have to do with outside battle rap work.
Okay.
He's someone that he's just he's a really likable guy. Back in the day when he had the 2-on-2 battles and everything, like, I think that whole jump off tournament was a real sketchy thing. We had to battle 10 times in one day against the same people. You're watching battle other people all day. It was just like a really draining experience that no one was really prepared for. No one knew what we were going into. But it's funny, the battle where me and him battled one-on-one, I was actually supposed to be the host of this freestyle battle event, and the host didn't show up. So I was just like, or one of the battlers didn't show up. So I was like, yo, I'll just take a spot, whatever. And it ended up being me and Twist in the finals. And Twist's a good guy, though. But yeah, he's he's a vet in Canadian battle scene and just the battle scene in general. He's been putting in a lot of work over the years. Was the first ever King of the Dot battle. He's taken part of majority of the major events and was a former King of the Dot champion. He's just an all around good person, and yeah, he's always been like someone that's like cool to watch, and like as like a new rapper, people that are jumping in the league and seeing how people respect someone like Kid Twist, who kind of built and pushed his own lane in battle rap where there wasn't his lane before. There never was like the nerdy white guy before a Kid Twist. Kid Twist was the person that kind of pushed that agenda and made it likable. So a lot of people started taking note on what he was doing and how he made himself a likable person, even though he didn't fit in the typical, hip-hop image, right? So, he's a vet for a lot of reasons, a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I think he's awesome. Kev?
Yeah.
I got that question.
I got a question. You said what you guys done is not going to compare to what you're going to do. So my question to you is, what's next? For thinking of that, what can we expect as far as fans and go ahead.
Yeah, like that doesn't mean that I have something major planned or anything. It just means that we're always striving to get better. You can always dwell on what you've done in the past, or you can look forward to what you're about to do. And that's kind of the mentality that we have. We've done a lot of great things. We've, in my eyes, been definitely the most consistent battle league from day one. It's just about always improving and always kind of trying to better yourself. The only competition we're in is with ourselves and this stuff. Like, what other leagues are doing is what other leagues are doing. I applaud them, but we have our agenda and we want to continue to push forward what we're doing. We got the Hollow and Pat Stay event coming up in Boston. We got Back to Basics 4 in LA. We just finished Blackout. We literally work, man, and I think a lot of people overlook that with us. We're the hardest working, guaranteed. When there's one event happening, there's already 2 others in the works that have been booked, and we're always 2-3 months ahead of what everyone sees. So everybody's seeing announcements right now for April and every event, but we're working on July. So
right, and that's how it should be.
So do you give that advice to like the battlers that they make enough money to where they want to branch off and try to start their own leagues and have their own cards, but not the total slaughter type of imposters. I'm talking like people that's inside battle rap, like people that have a big following. They're starting their own leagues, you know what I'm saying? But they get Yeah, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you? I mean, like, how do you feel about that? What advice do you give those, the John Johns and the Hitmans and the, you know what I mean? Because you all about sharing and caring, and that's what it sounds like that, you know, that y'all do in Toronto. And, like, you know, it's a little different over here. So, like, what advice do you give aspiring, you know, league owners?
I mean, how I view it is that they're doing something that's no different than what I did. You know what I mean? I used to be a battler, and I was frustrated with how things were going, how I was being dealt with, and just had this vision of, like, starting something of my own, because the only thing I hadn't done was run my own league, and I felt like I could put pieces of the puzzle together. I'm sure that they're having these same emotions right now, especially with all the stuff going on in battle rap. You know what I mean? It's been tough, and you know, the advice to get them is just don't be discouraged. Don't let other people get the best of you. When people try to, just brush it off, man. Tomorrow's a new day, you know. I've always had people try to, like, bait me into these, like, arguments and debates and in like, a negative fashion, but it's just not the way we move. I don't see any positive in it. It's not going to, like, let me win a Twitter argument and, like, all of a sudden, like, who am I high-fiving? Myself in the mirror? Like, I won that? Like, what does that prove or do, you know? So
Right.
just be likable, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people out here just trying to act like holier than thou, and, you know, it's all about, like, we in a moment, we got something cool right now. You only live once. Let's embrace this. It's, like, no different. We all got something in common with each other. Let's have fun, you know what I mean? That's what this is about. People aren't in entertainment to not have a good time. Entertainment is about having a good time, and that's all I want to do, you know?
Right. Well, you know, piggybacking off of that, do you think that I feel that it should be some type of maybe like a battle rap coalition kind of sort of with like a lot of y'all, but you know, the league owners, maybe just in regards to, you know, just coming together to, you know, like maybe, you know, I don't know, to better, you know, to make the culture stay relevant in regards to just the events and things like that, because we can always learn from each other instead of just somebody trying to corner the market. You know, for me, I'm from New York, so at the end of the day, you know, I've come up in an era where I've seen people try to corner the block and things like that, and it's to no avail. So how do you feel about that?
Mm-hmm. For the most part, I think a lot of this kind of happens behind the scenes that people just don't see in the forefront. You know, I don't really know any league owners that really have like a real beef with each other or really dislike each other. Maybe some of the smaller ones that are in, like, you know, conflict over territory, possibly. You know, but that's going to happen. You know, that's impossible to avoid, and you know, the harder worker will always prevail. It's just not letting it get to a point where it escalates to violence. I think, you know, a little competition is healthy, but at the same time, it's like it's got to be for a better good. It's got to be for the better of the rappers. It's got to be for, you know, not some promoter just to get personal notoriety or gain from it. So, I mean, I think a coalition or something like that would be good, but, like, there's just so much going into it, you know. With battle rap is such an opinionated thing. It's tough to find people that are level-headed with the same opinion that want to make the same things happen.
Right.
That's crazy. No unity. We need that.
You know, that's definitely madness. But this is a throwback question. In regards to just, you know, there's leagues that you know, that judge battles. You know what I'm saying? You were a judge on the Ultimate MC TV show with, like, amongst the elite, you know, in hip hop. So how do you feel about judging battles?
I like it. You know, I feel like judge battles should be happening. If it were up to me, every battle would be judged. I think it was the rappers just started to, you know what I mean, really not agree with the judges regardless. But live performance to me is half the battle. Being in a battle is selling yourself better than your opponent. And when you watch something on camera, you only catch like 1/8 of the atmosphere of that room. You know, the other 7/8 of the atmosphere can tell a completely different story, and we see it all the time. People get bodied on camera or bodied in the venue and come out on camera looking all right, you know. But that live value is a lot to it, and I think that needs to be accounted for. And I think judging always kind of, you know, set the standard as far as that, man. You know, there's negatives with it too, though, right? Like, having a battle that goes against a fan favorite, automatically people dislike the video on YouTube. What that'll do is lower the viability account. You know, that video is not going to be showing up in videos that you may want to watch for people that are subscribed or you know what I mean, a friend of someone who subscribed on YouTube, you know, so it hurts.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And yeah, of course.
Wow,
like,
I did not know that. That's
YouTube
deep.
itself is not going to promote a video with 15,000 dislikes and only 100 likes. You know what I mean? They're not going to put that on the side saying what you should watch next. You know, so it hurts in a lot of senses like that. You know, just because battle rap fans think short term and they're like, oh, I don't agree with this decision. Fuck this league, and they dislike the video. But you're hurting the battlers. You're not hurting. You're hurting the league and you're hurting the battlers. The only people you're not hurting are the judges, and that's who's responsible for that decision. So, you know, it just came down to stuff like that. We were trying to weigh out the odds, and with the battlers all wanting it not judged and stuff like that taking place, it was just like, for the better sake of right now, let's go this way. But, you know, all our title matches are judged. Joe Nice Psychosis was judged. And you know, I don't think there's been any, like, real serious robberies or anything like that where people feel robbed or anything. It's the risk of it, you know what I mean? I'm sure professional divers think their dive was better than the person that scored 0.1 above them, but that's the way it goes when it comes down to opinionated things.
Oh, okay. I have a fan on Twitter. Oh, Jesse Regan said to tell you how.
Tell me up.
Okay. But I have a fan that they want me to ask you. They said, do you feel like it was better when battlers were cut off if they stopped for too long, even if it was crowd reaction?
Yeah, 100%. I felt like there's one thing I always reference in this, man. You watch Hollow and Big T. When Hollow ends his round and that air horn goes off, you're watching it and you're like, man, he got so much more to say. I can't wait to the next round. These days, it's like we're letting rappers go until they want to finish, and it's like there's no anticipation for that next round. You know, I like seeing rappers get cut off. It gave me the feeling of like he still wants to hit him, but he can't yet. You know what I mean? It's like it's like you've let a dog attack someone, and then you're pulling him back for a minute while he's like trying to get at this guy, and then you let him go again. You know, I feel like just that feeling you get when you watch a battle, and it's just made it more intimate. You know what I mean? And more, you know, authentic and everything like that. But now battlers take their material and they build it up to a point where it's like their first bar is leading up to the final bar in a 3-minute round. So it's tough to do that, right? But I thought it was better. I liked it better that way. I like short rounds better too. I thought the quicker back and forth made battles more entertaining to watch. The competitiveness of it.
Right, I agree too.
It'll cut down on the choking. No, it'll cut down on the choking. Believe that, because there's a lot of that going on.
It is.
Rounds are too long. Go ahead,
in regards to freestyling, right? Like, I come from an era, you know, where I've seen, and I speak about this all the time, where you know, I've been in attendance for so many ciphers and things like that. You know, and freestyling, you know, was the ultimate. I spoke, you know, Built with Disaster when he was on about it, and you know, freestyling was, you know what I'm saying, what it was about back then, you know. And then if you came to the cipher with written rhymes or a verse off a song you did, you know, I'm from where people got beat up for that, kicked out the park, or they was banned from the cipher. So now translating into battle rap, you know, it's more or less now, you know, it's about, you know, battlers having ample amount of time to write, and, you know, and then if freestyle is incorporated, the fans and everyone looks at it like, oh, you know, it's frowned upon. Oh, he's freestyling because he forgot his bars, or he's freestyling because he ain't writing no rounds. So how do you feel about the dynamic of that? You know, I think freestyling for me should be a must.
I think it should be a must if they're meant to freestyle. I don't think, like, you know, forgetting your writtens and resorting to freestyle is really, like, you know, giving someone points. You know, it's saving themselves from a bit of embarrassment of standing there choking, but I don't think, like, you know, forcing yourself into that. But, you know, I was a freestyler. I grew up a freestyler. I felt like, you know, freestyling was my thing. But I got to admit, you know, when I used to freestyle battle, your opponents are more like an object rather than a person. You know what I mean? You can only really, every human brain only works to think so fast, you know.
Right.
And you just become redundant with multis, comparisons, stuff you've heard before, and just nothing really, like, thought-provoking is really going to come of it in 2016 that hasn't been done in the previous 25 years of people freestyling. So in that sense, it's it's tough because, you know, when you start writing, you can break people down as a person. You can break them down by the characteristics. You know what I mean? You can write about their dog that died last week if you want to. You know what I mean? You can really kind of like take this person down as a human rather than an object. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like the big difference that's kind of made it, where we've seen battles like T-Rex and Charlie Clips and, you know what I mean, stuff like that, where certain things get brought up and people are trying to attack them, and you could tell this person's been waiting for someone to do this, you know, and kind of had this feeling of something. I think being able to prepare in that sense, it's like a chess game, you know. You have to be aware of what your opponent may write and what your opponent may come at you with and what you're going to write to counterattack him. I think freestyling, you never will get that full, authentic comeback you really want to, because people will be too caught up in the moment to say what they really want to say, even though the best freestylers in the world will have trouble doing that, you know. It just never comes off as good when you're thinking that fast. But it's just, like I said, it always just comes down to being a human and being an object. And I think this era of battle rap is just kind of plateaued on seeing people be taken down as a human.
Right. I totally agree with that. So how do you feel about the state of battle rap now compared to when you came in, you know, as far as, you know, just as a whole?
There's parts of it I really like and there's parts of it I really don't. I think the hunger level was so different back then. Nowadays, everybody wants to be the man, you know, and when I say be the man, they want to be the man that's getting paid and everything. And, you know, that's an all right thing, but that came with work, you know, and these days you see a lot of battlers who ain't even on that level. Like, you got to understand that, hey, you got to be making the money, you know what I mean? For a league to hand you money, you got to be bringing that money to the league. And, you know, nowadays we're at a point in time where people just want paid for the sake of doing it rather than knowing what they're going to contribute. You know, it's no longer like an art form that people care about. It just, like, the hunger of it just seems gone. And that's why I really like watching people like Danny Myers, Disaster, because you see how much they care. You know what I'm saying? And that makes it interesting for me to watch, rather than when someone's like, this guy's beating him because this other guy just didn't care to write. It's like, well, why the fuck am I watching this? You know what I mean?
Right.
If the guy doesn't care, then why should I care to even watch this shit? You're just doing this for a paycheck. I don't care to go watch someone work on a construction site, so I don't care to watch this guy, you know, going half-assed either. So that's what made battle rap interesting. It was competitive. This is, you know what I mean? Like, when people are not like that and not trying to best each other, then it's boring.
Right. I agree.
And Baxter and Iron Solomon is like a perfect example of that. You know what I mean?
I love that battle.
Of two people who mentally in the back of their head, like, you know, and I can tell you this because I set it up. Yeah, they were paid, but that it played no fucking object in setting up that battle. You know what I mean? Never once was it like, oh, well, I need this. It's about the money. Like, you know, that every conversation in setting that battle up was about legacy and taking down that person and not letting that person beat them, best them. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, it just gives you that feel-good feeling when you set up a battle and the people are, like, want to do it and are like, yo, I'm going to kill this guy. I haven't had that in a long time. You know, everyone's more worried about, okay, what am I getting paid? When can you send the deposit? You know? And when that's all people are focused on, it kind of sucks the energy out of me, too, in wanting to promote them, in the sense of, like, not that I don't want to promote them, but in the sense of, like, me wanting to watch them, because, I mean, I've watched almost every battle that's fucking happened. I stay in front row for them all, so it takes a lot for me to get excited. But at this level, I don't want to be paying people just to pay them. I want to be paying people because I want them to be entertaining, and I want it to lead to something good, you know, and that's kind of the outlook we've been taking with King of the Dot recently.
Right.
And a lot of people,
I know I'll be in attendance.
Well, why would you book Rex? You know, and a lot of people are like, well, why would you book Rex? But Rex came to us, and he's hungry. He says he wants to use this platform to get shit off his chest, and you know what I mean. He wants to show people, you know what I mean, what he is capable of doing. Because I think a lot of people are like, you know, they rate people on a certain performance, and they feel like, oh, you know, he just doesn't care anymore. But it just may be, you know, a notion they were going through, and you know, they may be past it and ready to be like, okay, I'm ready to show and prove again. And, you know, Rex is at a point where he's really pursuing his music, and he's got to be taking everything he's doing seriously, because if he's playing the music world, then the industry is going to be watching, you know?
Right. You know, to hear that aspect of it, it brings a balance because, we hear, all in regards to just Rex, all of everybody's, emotion about it. Like I always say, life happens, you know what I'm saying? And, I can equate it to, one day you may go to work and you may not be as productive as you are the other times because of something that you're going through, but you're trying your best not to, allow it to affect what it is that you have going on. But I will be in attendance for the massacre. This is my first Canada. I've been fiending to go to Canada for the longest, but y'all coming to the States, so it's easier. Boston's 3 hours from New York. So I will definitely be in attendance for that. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
You definitely got to come up for a Toronto event because the Toronto events are like, it's more of a show, you know what I mean, just because we all live here, you know what I mean, so it's easy to facilitate such events and everything. But we take a lot of pride in the Toronto events. Massacre is going to be crazy, back to basics. Avocado just announced yesterday he has a venue that's dedicated to, like, it's his venue, so he's dedicating it solely to battle rap. It'll be constructed for the benefit of battle rap, and it's just going to be, it's basically a venue that's owned by battle rap, and that's what we're doing out on the West Coast. So it's going to be hot.
Yes, sir. West Coast. All right. Well, and I mean, we've been talking about so much. What do you say is a phrase that epitomizes KOTD?
I like that question.
In your words, what epitomizes your wave, what you do, what you bring to the culture, in a phrase?
In a phrase, like off top? Oh, man. I don't know. Consistency makes history,
Wow.
There it is. It wasn't hard to do. Consistency makes history. It wasn't hard at all. It seemed hard, but it wasn't at all, because in the back of your mind, you knew that's what it was. So you playing chess, too. Shout out to Organik, man, KOTD, and everything that y'all do.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all.
Yes, it was an honor to have you on. We winding up with so many callers on, but like I said, this is the first time. Over here on my show, I've been doing it for almost, it'll be 3 years in May, and I have my 100th episode coming up. Like I'm, a female like one of the only females that has had my show consistent. I've had all the greats on, but I don't just ask anybody to come on. I reach out. My PR reaches out, and he's awesome, and I want to be different with my interviews. I want to be, to bring a fan aspect, but also get the, the artist, the guest, whoever I have on, to the world. Because, timelines, you can't really get the core of somebody, or at least part of a person from a tweet or a post on Facebook, and it's always, the aspect of by you speaking, to find out a lot of things. A lot of things I learned tonight that I didn't know. I embrace being a teacher and a student, and, just as a female, because as a female, I don't get enough, females in this realm don't get looked upon, finally, but, I'm just, standing strong with my soul. Again, as a female in this, but just a person that loves this, thank you so much for calling in. It was an honor, and you're welcome to come back anytime. Well, I know I'm going to be, like I said, at the massacre. And definitely try to get to a Toronto event. It's just the time. I have to make time, like the whole weekend off, to come up for that. But thank you again, Organik. It was an honor.
Thank you guys very much, and appreciate it. I had a good time. And salute to everyone listening. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Definitely.
you.
Have a good night, guys.
Okay.
All
okay,
right.
You too. Thank you. All right. Okay.
Ron, you still in the building?
Yeah, I didn't hang up yet. Okay, that was awesome. Shout out to everybody at King of the Dot. Shout out Bishop Agante and Gully and them up there. Yeah, that was definitely awesome. Shout out to all the people that's listening on the line. Shout out to everybody that's hit me on my Twitter, ask, questions. Fans had questions and things like that. Kev, what you think? PR, you still on the line. What you think about the interview?
I thought it was awesome. It was great. I wish he had a little bit more time to stay on, because it's going bananas right now. I can see the timelines. I can see everyone is just like interested and wanted to find out more, and it was very impressive that he knew what he knew. It's like I didn't even know that, and he gave shout outs to Queens, New York, NYC. I was really feeling that. It was an honor. It was an honor just listening to it. I'm very excited, so I'm glad about this interview.
Yeah, and I'm gonna honor. You know what, Kev? You my nigga. All right, now because now I kind of turned it down. Because that's the first time. And not only that, you can't be on air like for 2 hours. I mean, if we have the time, but at the same token, just back to what you said as far as the question about cutting them off. It wasn't cutting them off. But now, next time, we can always build and can always bring up questions that weren't asked tonight. You always leave something left for the imagination for another time. So, I think when the questions we asked was on point, Kev, you my nigga, we was on point. The chemistry is always there, you know what I'm saying, you family. But now that I can get on nigga time now. Don't don't troll my shit, yo. Somebody kept calling from the 111. Yo, don't call. Look, I know about the 111. It's a blocked number. Yo, the only way your number will be blocked is if you blocking it or you calling from jail. And I know you're not calling from jail, B. Yo, you want to listen as a fan? That's cool. You want to listen as a fan? That's cool and everything. But don't troll my shit. Word, don't troll my shit. But other than that, and I want to speak briefly about, today's March 9th. I totally forgot about the big questions I wanted to ask him in regards to Biggie and stuff like that. Kev, it's the anniversary, 19 years ago, Kev. Big was murdered. How do you feel about today, you know what I'm saying, in just regards to, the overwhelming love that people show for Big, not only on today, but just period?
Man, Big is so much love. It's like it's ridiculous. It's like it's New York out here, too. Like it's either Big or Pac. Like it's give or take. It's either or. All eyes on me or Ready to Die. Like you take your pick. You know what I'm saying? But the effect that they had on hip hop make them legends. Like, and you can't use that term loosely because everybody haven't earned that longevity and that. The work that they did, even though they're deceased, still stands. So, like, that in itself is saying a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I still bump Big. And that shit, come on, I know it word for word. You know what I mean? Pac, come on, I know it word for word. So, like, legendary shit will never be forgotten. Like, and this day should be a national holiday if you ask me.
Right.
You know what I mean? For those who love hip-hop like that, I think today should be a national holiday. Real talk. Celebrate Big Day. Everybody put your lighters up. Put your lighters up. Shout out Big for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So another great interview in the books. So tomorrow we working again. Tomorrow night we got Team Homie General Swave Sever. Swave, that's my nigga. I had Danny Myers. We had Danny Myers on last week. So we're gonna have Swave Sever on tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to build with him. This is not the first time Flave's been on the Bardock, so, it's going to be, an honor or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to get Newborn on, and we could build with him, you know what I'm saying, about what I spoke about earlier in the show,
Yo,
so
we working, man. Hey, for all y'all out there that's listening and that really fuck with us and rock with us, subscribe to the YouTube page, please. You know what I'm saying? Show your love, support. You know what I mean? If you fuck with us, give us your feedback. You know what I mean? But the YouTube page is up and popping, so please subscribe to that. I'm retweeting that shit all day long. We're trying to get that going. So.
Yeah. We just been, like I said, we just working. A better situation in regards to what's going on. Life has happened for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my bestie Jacqueline. I know she's listening. Shout out to my girls, Koya, Keisha, Tasha, and just all of, my people in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Life happened. I've been going through a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, the whole thing with, the cancer, in remission, I got my lab results back, clean bill of health on everything, shit. Some people don't even take their ass to the doctor, you understand what I'm saying? So, I got my lab results back, so, my blood, I'm just been a little tired, 2 jobs in school, so, and being a mom. So at the end of the day, I'm just grateful for just, being able to, continue on with what it is I got going on, because a couple of times I said I wasn't going to do the show no more, just out of frustration, and then the whole, with life going, happening. But at the end of the day, shout out to boy Sheree Q, but I can't wait to, you know what I'm saying, what we got on deck popping off, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot, you know, and thank you, Kev, for being, you know what I'm saying, just who you are, you know what I'm saying? And thank you to my PR. You know, I love my PR very much. He's done so much for me, you know what I'm saying, and just to get this going on. But, yeah, don't troll my show. If you're going to call up, you know what I'm saying, calling from block numbers, calling and listening, and at the end of the day, I'm a sweetheart, you know what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. But
like, yo, why they get you started? Why did they do that? Like, come on, man. We trying to have a good night. Why y'all do that? Y'all know she gonna go off. It wasn't gonna pass. You know, but you did,
right.
though. So
see, but the thing about it is now it's a couple of numbers. But anyway, you know, now that we got the unlimited time, the amount of callers changes. So before you couldn't see the people that don't press 1. You know what I'm saying? If you called in before the certain amount of callers that's allowed, then I'd see your number without you having to press 1. But when you press 1, now you it's a limited amount of callers that call in. So when you call in, you automatically on the switchboard. So I see you. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's cool. It's cool. We just conducting interviews over here and just living life. And I'm grateful for every breath I take. So on that note, follow Formula 51. Well, I got a Twitter for Formula 51. Formula 51 is me and Cav. Follow the Bardar YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, we working on. I put up all my old classic interviews. There's gonna be some interviews with some of the greats. You know what I'm saying? We're about to upload that Rosenberg Raw interview. That was one of my favorite interview. One of my favorite interviews because Rosenberg Raw. You know, I call him the boy wonder. He's just, you know, when I interviewed him, it was like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and he was just awesome. You know what I'm saying? When it the articulation, you know, the back end knowing of the business, you know what I'm saying? Him being a father raising daughter, it was just awesome. So that's the next interview I'm gonna be uploading along with some others. But shout out to just all the queens, all the women, you know what I'm saying, that I fuck with in this realm heavy. You know, shout out to everybody on the West Coast, especially Oakland, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it is what it is.
We out here. Follow me on Twitter at 1000YM_Oakland, Facebook page at Cam Battle. We working. You heard she said we working tomorrow. And we do this shit for y'all. Like, I mean, it's simple as that. You know what I mean? So, fuck with us, man. We fuck with y'all. 100.
Right. All right, so, Kev, this is all right. So I'll hit you up afterwards. Thank y'all, everybody, for listening. And this interview will be up in a few and on the YouTube channel, so check that out again. And again, shout out to everybody that supports the. Yeah, subscribe. All right, everybody, have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yo, we out.
All right.